Hi, my name is Jocelyn Neal, and this is the 13th session in our Melodic Dictation workshop series. 13 sessions, wow, lucky 13. Welcome back, I'm so glad you are here. Today we're going to warm up in a minor key. Then we're going to talk about anchor pitches and long-range pitch retention, both of which are really important techniques that we can use in all of our sight singing and melodic dictation. Then we're going to do some work with real-time transcription techniques. And finally, as always, we will do a complete melodic dictation at the end of this workshop. So if you haven't already done sessions 1 through 12, I recommend you jump over and do those first, then come back and join us here. As always, you will need some staff paper and a pencil, and you will need to be somewhere that you can sing out loud. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please reach over and click that. Now let's dive in and get warmed up. Here's our key. Solfege a scale, double do on top. 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, ti, le, so, fa, mi, re, do. Intervals. 3, 4. Major second, minor third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seventh, perfect octave, major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, minor seventh, perfect octave, major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major second, major third, perfect fourth. Scales in thirds. 3, 4. Do, me, re, fa, mi, so, fa, le, so, te, la, do, ti, re, do. Do, le, te, so, le, fa, so, me, fa, re, me, do, re, ti, do. And let's tonicize in minor in that same key. 3, 4. Do, me, so, fa, me, le, so, ti, do, re, do, ti, do, so, me, do. And let's do our minor arpeggiation pattern. We'll switch keys. Here's our new key. Do, me, so, me, do, so, le, fa, re, ti, do, te, le, do, fa, do, le, do, re, do, ti, re, ti, so, la, ti, do. Today, let's warm up on our tricky leaps in a minor key. This exercise is going to help us to identify those scale degree relationships in minor, but it's also going to be a chance to review the ideas of long-range pitch retention and the use of anchor pitches, both of which are really important techniques when we're doing any kind of melodic dictation. We went over this idea of long-range pitch retention and how to use that in both sight singing and melodic dictation back in session 7. So if you'd like more information or a quick review, I recommend you jump over to session 7. So here's our key. Our opening interval is do, fa, and let's sing this together. Do, fa, mi, re, le, so, fa, so, ti, do, me, so, do, fa, ti, le, so, re, me, fa, ti, re, do. The intervals that we're trying to work on in this exercise are marked for you. We have the opening jump from do to fa, do, fa, and re up to le, re, le, so, which is a jump of a tritone. Continuing. We have to find our major sixth from do down to me and arpeggiate back up to tonic. Do, me, so, do. A descending perfect fifth. Do, fa, a descending perfect fourth, so, re, a descending tritone, fa, ti. Now the idea of anchor pitches is that throughout this entire melody, we are remembering where do is, and we're holding that in our heads while we sing our melody. We are also holding scale degree 5, or so, in our heads. Do, so, almost like a drone. So as we're singing, do, fa, me, re, le, so, we have do and so in our minds to help us find those other pitches. We're also going to be holding a high scale degree 1 in our heads. Do, so, do. Now what this allows us to do is to use those 3 anchor pitches to help us identify pitches that are close to them. So if I were singing the opening measure holding my anchor pitches in my head, what I'm thinking is do, so, fa, me, re, so, le, so. Let me sing this entire exercise for you, and before each tricky leap, I'm going to be thinking in my head about the nearby anchor pitch, which will allow me to find the scale degree I'm looking for. Here's tonic. Do, fa, me, re, le, so, fa, so, ti, do, me, so, do, fa, ti, le, so, re, me, fa, ti, re, do. Now let's sing it once, putting each of these anchor pitches into the melody so that we can explicitly hear how we use those anchor pitches to measure those leaps. Here's tonic. 4, 5, 6. Do, so, fa, me, re, so, le, so, fa, so, do, ti, do, me, so, do, so, fa, do, ti, le, so, do, re, me, so, fa, do, ti, re, do. We can also use our long-range pitch retention to help us find these tricky leaps. You'll notice that we have some notes in this melody that are in the lower register. Do, re, me, re, do, ti, do. We have notes in the middle register. Fa, so, le, so, fa, so. And notes in the higher register. Ti, do, ti. Now let's sing it one final time. We're thinking about our anchor pitches in our head while singing the printed melody. Here's tonic. 4, 5, 6. Do, fa, me, re, le, so, fa, so, ti, do, me, so, do, fa, ti, le, so, re, me, fa, ti, re, do. Now let's do our chromatic warm-ups. You'll recall that in a minor key, we could encounter raised scale degree 1, although that's quite rare. We could encounter raised scale degree 3, and we could encounter raised scale degree 4. Let's sing our chromatic alterations pattern. Here's tonic. 3, 4. Do, re, me, mi, fa, mi, so, la, ti, do, te, le, so, fi, so, fa, mi, fa, me, re, do. And let's sing our chromatic patterns. Here's our key. Do, me, so, fa, mi, fa, so, fi, so, la, ti, do, te, le, so, fi, so, mi, fa, me, re, ti, do. Now let's finish our warm-ups by doing our rhythmic patterns. We will begin with our patterns in simple quadruple meter. You may read these on a neutral syllable, or you may join me on Takadimi. Here we go. ta 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 dee ta ta dee ta 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 dee ta ta dee 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 ta mi ta dee ta mi ta dee ta dee mi ta dee ta dee mi ta dee ta dee mi ta dee mi ta ta dee ta dee ta ta dee ta 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 dee taka dee mi ta dee ta 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 mi ta dee mi ta. And now let's read our rhythmic patterns in compound duple meter. You may read on a neutral syllable, or you can join me on takadimi. Ta 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 ki da ta ki da ta da ta da ta damata damata ki damata ki damata ki di damata ki di damata ki di da ta ki di da tavakida 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 matavakida matavakidida tavakidida tadida tadida taki mata didamata didamatava da tava dida ta. Let's do some real-time transcription practice. This is a technique that we talked about back in session 11. So if you'd like more information on this, I recommend you jump over to session 11 and work through that section. The idea of real-time transcription practice is that you're going to move your pencil across the page in time to the music, making sure you always know exactly where you are in the metric structure of this melody. And you're going to be working with shorthand notation. Your shorthand notation can look like a bunch of different things depending on what works best for you. But the shorthand notation systems that are most commonly used would be scale degrees written above the staff, or solfege abbreviations written above the staff, or dots on the staff, and in each of those cases you can use spacing to help record information about the rhythms. Then after you've done your shorthand notation, you always have to go back and complete the transcription with proper staff notation. So let's try some of these. Again, you're only going to hear the melody once. It will have a very simple rhythm, and your goal is to write down the notes as you hear them, moving your pencil across the page with the time of the music. Get your staff paper set up. We will be working in bass clef today with a key signature of 1 flat and a time signature of 4/4. Your first pitch in each case will be the pitch D3. We are in simple quadruple meter, and we are in the key of D minor. Here's your key. Here's your first pitch. Try to maintain your focus on your scale degree ladder as you hear each melody. Here's number 2, your first pitch. And let's do number 3. For number 3, focus on arpeggiation. You should be listening for arpeggiation patterns that you have practiced. Here's your first pitch. Number 3. Now here is an example of what your shorthand notation might look like. For number 1, I used scale degree notation above the staff, and I marked where scale degree 7 was raised and where scale degree 7 was lowered. For number 2, I used solfege abbreviations above the staff, again marking where scale degrees 6 and 7 were raised. And for number 3, I used dot notation on the staff, and I used horizontal lines to show where a note was longer than the other notes around it. That was a way to help get some rhythmic information on the staff. Here are the final answers in standard staff notation. Before we begin our melodic dictation exercise, let's review some standard techniques we want to keep in mind while we're working. On our first hearing of a melodic dictation, we always want to get the first 3 notes and the melodic cadence. We want to pay attention to our anchor pitches, which we practiced today, holding scale degrees 1 and 5 in our heads throughout the melody. We want to listen for contour. We want to listen for scale, fragments, and arpeggios. We want to be working in real time using shorthand notation above the staff if that helps us to work in real time. And we want to use our connect the dots strategy, where we can follow a melody after a leap until we get to an anchor pitch and then retroactively figure out that leap. Finally, this melody will have a chromatically altered scale degree in it. Now let's get set up for a melodic dictation. Today we will be working in the treble clef. We will have a key signature of 1 sharp. We will have a time signature of 4/4 so that we know we are in simple quadruple meter. As always, we will have 4 measures of music. So go ahead and get your staff paper set up like that. And our first pitch will be the note E4. We're going to be listening to this melody on a clarinet. Now, before our first hearing, we want to do a couple of additional things to get ready. First of all, we're going to look at that first note. We're going to look at that key signature, and we're going to label our key. We will be working in E minor today. Anytime we're working in minor, we want to make sure that we remind ourselves to watch scale degrees 6 and 7 at all times in our melody. And we want to go ahead and write in our last note, or whatever our best guess of that last note is going to be. In this case, we're going to be in the middle of bar 4 with a half note on the pitch E4. Now always remember that the first pitch is given to you, but it does not have any kind of stem on it, so we have to make sure we add a correct rhythm to that first note. Now let's go ahead and listen to this melody for the first time. Okay, here is our second hearing. Now listen to the melody for a third time. And here is your fourth and final hearing. Okay, let's work through this melody together. Our opening segment began on scale degree 1 and moved up through scale degrees 3 and 4 up to 5. We had eighth notes in there, followed by some steady dotted quarter notes, bringing us back down to scale degree 3. Measure 2 began with a dotted rhythm on scale degree 4, walking up to scale degree 5, all the way up to a lowered scale degree 6. And that opening set of notes came in a dotted rhythm. From scale degree 6, we heard a wraparound pattern moving down to raised scale degree 4, which then resolved up to scale degree 5. We then jumped down to scale degree 3. Let's listen to measure 2. Here's tonic. There's do. And here's our measure 2, starting on fa. We heard fa, sol, la. Raised scale degree 4. Fi, sol. Measure 3 began with a descending melodic minor scale, walking all the way down through lowered scale degrees 7 and 6 and landing on 5. From scale degree 5, we had a dotted rhythm and a skip up to the leading tone. That leading tone resolved to scale degree 1, and that was followed by a skip up to scale degree 4. As we move into measure 4, we heard a arpeggiation from 3 up to 5, followed by a descending skip of a third from 4 down to 2, ending on tonic. Let's look at some of the features of this melody. In the end of measure 2 into measure 3, we heard a descending scale that went all the way down to scale degree 5, and then we heard that leading tone resolve up to tonic in the end of measure 3. We then heard some arpeggiation in measure 4 from 3 up to 5, and then from 4 down to 2. We had a stepwise descent to close our melody, and that opening gesture back at the beginning of 1, 3, 4, 5 is a pattern we want to practice a lot. We also heard a clear anchor pitch in the middle of measure 2 on scale degree 5. Let's sing the whole melody. Here's tonic. 3, 4. Do, me, fa, sol, me, fa, sol, la, fi, sol. Me, re, do, te, le, so, ti, do, fa, me, so, fa, re, do. Let's practice measure 3. We're going to start with the pickup to measure 3 on scale degree 3. 3 and 4. Me, re, do, te, le, so, ti, do, fa. And make sure that as you hear that arpeggiation coming up off of scale degree 5, resolving to tonic, we then heard the skip up to scale degree 4. Let's mark that wraparound pattern that included our chromatically altered pitch. I'm looking in measure 2, where I moved from scale degree 5 up to lowered scale degree 6, through raised scale degree 4, back to 5. There's my wraparound pattern landing on scale degree 5. Let's sing it one last time. Here's tonic. 3, 4. Do, mi, fa, sol, mi, fa, sol, la, fi, sol. Me, re, do, te, le, so, ti, do, fa, mi, so, fa, re, do. let's look at the complete transcription and listen to it one last time. Thanks for watching.